Not enough? Dude. Dude. What are you doing? You got the camera rolling.
Oh, dude. Got enough. What are you doing here?
Dude, what are you doing? You got the camera rolling.
I'm taking a break. I'm doing a top 10 video to save everybody money on their holiday shopping for Nerf blasters.
Top 10 video?
What do you want?
Dude, I'm always telling you, the best way to save money is not spend money at all.
Dude, this is my video.
Why are
you
you telling
walked
people
in
to
here.
spend money? Hey guys, if you're listening, don't spend any money. Be happy
This
with
crap
what you got.
again.
Because if you
Don't
got one
listen to
blaster,
him.
then you got enough
Dude,
Nerf. You don't
time
need
to
spend
go.
more money.
Time to go.
All
This
right,
is my
dude.
set. I don't want to hear it.
I'm just trying to give good advice, and you're sleeping in your video.
This freaking guy. Sorry about that, guys. Got enough Nerf always gets on my not enough nerves. We got a lot of blasters to go through. We got a total of 10 with about 5 or 6 honorable mentions. Big list, couple of ground rules before we start. These are not blasters that are necessarily made in the year 2024. These are blasters that you can still buy in 2024. They're readily available, and their value to enjoyment / performance is what got it on this list. So whether they've been out for a couple years and they're on deep discount now, or it's just the holidays and it's a new blaster and it happens to be on sale right now, this list is about bang for your buck. We're doubling down on our formula of last year's top 10 video. These are not the top 10 blasters. These are just the best deals you can possibly get for your level of enjoyment on non-pro Nerf blasters this time of the year. All blasters in this category have a muzzle velocity at least under 110 FPS, but definitely under 100. There won't be any hard-hitting blasters, and that's why we're separating this top 10 video from the top 10 pro blasters, which we're doing the following week, right before Christmas. Without further ado, let's start right away. Number 10, the Nerf Elite 2.0 Storm Charge. I reviewed this blaster when it came out. I believe it was earlier, mid 2023. This, believe it or not, is essentially Hasbro's last real Strife. Or at least this is the closest you're gonna get to any semblance of the original Strife that is not in pro form and that is not what we call a Strife-oid or a licensed variant of the Strife. It's called the Storm Charge, but it is essentially a Strife. The reason it's last on this list is because it still possesses the legacy underpowered 4AA 6-volt system, where Nerf blasters back in the day typically struggled to even hit their 70 FPS par. However, they did something with this one, and I reviewed it on my channel, and please forgive the primitive aesthetics of those videos. I still got a hell of a long way to go, but it hurts my eyes sometimes looking at those videos. They did something with these blasters that gave it a little bit more oomph for the voltage they had. So they must have optimized the circuits or the motors or something somewhere in there got improved, because I was getting mid 70s to mid 80s, definitely high 70s and low 80s using the higher power Energizer Lithium or the new Power Owl Lithium Energy, which I also tried on this recently. It's a beautiful blaster. It possesses the Wildlands Edition color scheme that only this and 2 other blasters had at the time when Elite 2.0 was pretty much peaking. Anyhow, if you want to see more information about this blaster, you can watch that video. This blaster easily made the list, especially at the price that it's going for now. You can pick them up at $15, even on Walmart.com. Now you might get lucky and get some kind of an isolated clearance at your nearby Walmart. Probably pick this up between $5 and $10. I personally have seen these at $8. Unfortunately, they were all gone by the time I got to that Walmart. Even $14, $15 for this, what's essentially a $30 to $40 Strife, is a damn good deal. The blaster has a lot going for it. Just check out that video when you have a chance. The Nerf Elite 2.0 Wildlands Storm Charge, guys. Number 9, the X-Shot Last Stand. The first set of graphic styles came out in late 2022. Then the Graffiti, the Game Over, and this one, which is the FaZe Clan, came out early 2023. And earlier this year, the Spectre, which I cannot wait to get my hands on. It was originally slated to just be a UK variant, but luckily we have it here in the States. These have been seen on Amazon for as low as $10. I believe I picked this one up between $10 and $15 during a sale this past summer. I think these missed the big spotlight because if you were like me, the skins at first came across as just literally what their name implies, just reskins of existing blasters. And in part that was true, as with the example of the Flux and the Menace, for instance. However, I do admit that that was a pretty negligible oversight, as there was a lot to be offered with these little blasters, especially this, because this kind of fits two bills. It fits that small carbine blaster category, and it also fits the big drummer category, but without the big drum. This is a 14 round drum, which is larger than your average revolver, but smaller than your average drummer. It is very ergonomic and comfortable, very easy to operate. The prime is not too hard, so most young children wouldn't have a problem with this as well. And surprisingly, it's very accurate, has slam fire, and has a very decent muzzle velocity. Still under 90 though. Right now you can pick up these last stands on Amazon for around $13 to $14, and you can get the Spectre. I don't know who else has them besides Target, but those are available right now for about $13.99. That is a terrific price. I can't wait to get my hands on one. I've just been stuck in the house making videos, but at my earliest opportunity, believe you me, I will get one. The X-Shot Skins last stand, guys. Number 8, the Dart Zone Magnum X2 Nitro Shot. Now, I don't own the Nitro Shot version. I gave it away to a local toy drive, but I do own the very last Covert Ops one before the Nitro Shot one came out. Let me tell you, this thing was rocking the house in summer of 2021. The improvements it had over the original Magnum was just incredible and appreciated by everybody in the community and casuals alike. It's one of the more formidable HVZ blasters because you could just pump 40 darts into this thing, which is insane due to the fact that it's collapsible to a small little carbine blaster, almost like a pistol if you will, and unleash sure destruction on your zombie enemies. I'm pretty sure the Nitro Shot has enhanced performance and function. Dart Zone has been known to do this. They proved it with the last Omnia, the Gen 3, which I reviewed recently. This one had really good muzzle velocities. I can only imagine that the new one with the Nitro Shot darts shoots even better. I did review the darts and they're absolutely phenomenal. You can check out that video here because you're gonna want some extra darts when you have this much ammo capacity. This blaster is available at Target for about $20. You can occasionally catch it on sale for about $5 less. I think they're running a promotion right now if you're a Circle Deals member. The Dart Zone Magnum X2, guys. At number 7, we have none other than our X-Shot Insanity Berserko. Get used to seeing this name a lot on this list, just saying. The Berserko is a blaster that I reviewed on its launch in late summer of 2023. The line was primarily pushing high capacity as its main gimmick with all these external storage devices on the blasters. I particularly like the clean look. That's just me. I'm kind of weird in that sense. The bolt action revolver style system is something very effective, not having to worry about a mag and just having that kind of snipery feel. This one's a shorter carbine, has a 10 round cylinder, which is a pretty generous capacity when you consider that most revolvers carry between 6 and 8. 10 is a nice little bump, especially when you have the room. This is a very good blaster. You can check out the full review on that here. Right now it's on sale at Target for $8.99. Actually, right now, as of the time of this video. This blaster was originally like $15 or $16, so that's close to half off. A very, very good deal. I myself picked this one up at Kohl's not too long ago, along with a blaster that's much further on this list for about 10 bucks. It's my second one. I love this blaster, the X-Shot Insanity Berserko, guys. The next blaster on this list might surprise you a little bit, especially since you know my hard stance on the Nerf N series blasters. I don't really filter out my sentiment when I feel like something is less than stellar or subpar, especially when you're paying a premium for it. However, I was wrong about one of the blasters in the category of Nerf's latest ammo system. And that blaster coming in at number 6 is none other than the Nerf N series Sprinter. This blaster was released this summer as part of a brand new 2024 line of blasters, completely redesigned from the ground up with their own proprietary ammo. All these blasters hit about 90 FPS, so Nerf definitely bumped up their performance. There's been concerns with prime reliability, feel of the plastic, and accuracy for the most part, but I think this blaster overcomes a lot of those things with what it has to offer. It's a bullpup, which has always been kind of like an exotic style blaster in the Nerf universe, but this one brings a little bit of sci-fi flair with it, giving it that futuristic modern look. 16 dart capacity with this new proprietary mags with special feed lips. It's a pretty blaster if I'm being honest. The performance really surprised me. I mean, it was actually pretty accurate. The flywheels are well aligned. The FPS was good. I do like the bright colors that Nerf is using for this new line. I know they look very toyish or Fisher Price-ish, as I saw in one of the Discords. And also one of the biggest points of controversy is that Hasbro did not need to introduce a new dart to their lineup. All they had to do is improve their original dart, which has been pretty much steamrolled by every other company out there. It wouldn't have been a difficult task just to do what everybody was doing, but just do it better. It's Hasbro, it's the mothership. They can do that. I see these blasters kind of like how you see that amazing printer on Black Friday. The printer itself is worth $15, but then you go look at the cartridge for that printer and the cartridge is $50. Nerf makes all their money on darts and ammo. Although this blaster might be a good deal, even at its entry-level MSRP, the darts are a fortune. If you're into tinkering with Nerf blasters with your kids or you do it yourself as a hobby, consider converting it to half length at some point. I know I'm probably gonna do it to this one because the darts are just not affordable, especially to have in high quantity, and if you have a lot of wars with your family and friends a lot. Otherwise, this blaster recently dropped to a very attractive price to $20. I think the normal is $30 or $35. $20 at Walmart, online or in person. That's how I got this one. I had a friend tip me off that I should at least give this one a try, and I'm happy I did because it has really surprised me. Like I said, it doesn't disappoint. I'm not a big fan of the N series, but this blaster was good enough to make it to number 6 on this list. The Nerf N series Sprinter, guys. Coming in at number 5 is actually a blaster from 2022. This is the M1 bread machine. It is also another one of my very passionate videos, bless those videos hearts, from back in the day. I can't say enough good things about it. Now, this is the only blaster in this entire lineup today that is a half-length dart blaster. Now, that doesn't automatically mean it's a pro blaster. This blaster shoots in the mid-70s to mid-80s, depending on the darts you use, and it only carries 4 darts at a time, so it barely scratches the surface as anything near competitive. However, the fact that it is a sealed breech blaster and that it's so fun with its integrated gimmick makes it all worth it. I covered all its details in my video review, which you can check out here. I'll put all the links to the blasters that I reviewed down in the description. Very, very good construction, even though the fact that most of these have translucent shells, I mean, no creaking, no bending. It's hard to believe that this blaster is fully designed and built in China. This is originally a $50 blaster, but right now, and I put this out on my Instagram recently. By the way, follow us on Instagram if you want to receive a lot of updates and fun content that rarely makes it to YouTube. I put all kinds of Nerf deals all the time on there. I recently found this blaster for $21 on AliExpress. I don't remember who the store was, but it was this blaster and it was another one that I really want to get as well. I think it was the Raptor X8. They also had the S200 Viper, they had the Unicorn, some pro blasters if you're just watching this and you're a casual shopper. But the bread machine has definitely a place right smack dab in the middle of this list at number 5. It is a lovely blaster. I love this thing to death. That never gets old. It comes in 3 colors. I only own the transparent lime and the aqua yellow. I love these colors. I might just get the 3rd one to complete my collection. At the end of the day, this channel is called NotNuffNerf. The next blaster on this list just won't go away. The Dart Zone Spectrum was introduced in 2020 with the original Adventure Force green color. It returned in 2021 with this lovely red color that Dart Zone was using for a while there. In fact, they still use it today. I believe the Lancer and the Desperado both use it. Those are 2 2024 blasters. Then they surprised everyone in summer of 2022 with yet another color variation, the blue one, which never made it to the States, sadly. And then this year in 2024, Australia got a special color in their Kmart stores, white. And then they say that we're the lucky ones out here in the States. Shame on you guys. You got a white Spectrum. You know what it is to have a white Spectrum? The Spectrum is a great little blaster. It actually returned to the stores here in the US under its 2021 red color, now in 2024. Its original price tag was $35, but now you can get this lovely blaster for $19.99, and that is the permanent price. That's not just a sales price. So if it goes on sale, it's definitely an automatic grab. Runs on 6 AA's, shoots in the mid-90s, lots of fun, this little blaster. The Adventure Force Spectrum does not disappoint, and that's why it is at number 4 on this list, guys. Things are starting to get spicy, and our number 3rd contestant is a blaster that came out, you ready for this? in 2017. Because of the poor initial popularity this blaster had, it never really got to mainstream appeal. Heck, I found out about it during this year's Maryland Mayhem back in April. Shoutouts to Faux Mando for introducing this blaster to me in the flesh. I had seen it on and off online, and because it really didn't have that wow factor, I didn't look into it more, but once I held it and I saw him fire it, I had to get 3 of them. Guys, for third place, we have none other than the Worker Hurricane. This beautiful little dart shooting barcode scanner comes in 3 colors, and because it didn't sell well back in 2017, all the way through 2024, you can get them as low as $23, including the limited edition translucent red one, which used to not go under $60. Yes, you heard that right. The boys at Out of Darts right now have this limited edition red Hurricane for $23. I believe the white one and the transparent one were going for $25. At least that's what I bought them at earlier this year in the spring. Let me tell you guys, what's not to like about a micro dart blaster that shoots full-length darts out of a rotating cylinder inside a box that top loads onto your blaster. If you like running full loadouts, the Worker Hurricane is something you do not want to leave home without as a sidearm. So much fun, even stock. Believe it or not, this blaster is designed with 2 1.5 volt AA's in mind. But unless you want to play 5 feet apart and shoot each other in the face at 27 feet per second, I think that's what it does on AA's. All right, fine, maybe 30. You can actually put 2 lithium ion 14600, which are the AA form factor size, but they're instead 3.7 volts each. And with that, the blaster has some very nice snappy performance, and it's extremely fun to operate. It's like lasers. Also, these nitro shots are awesome. My God. Guys, don't even think twice about it. Go to outofdarts.com and at least put one on your wish list or in your cart. The Worker Hurricane is probably my favorite full-length pistol blaster, believe it or not. It's just, there's nothing else like it. Capacity of 6, tiny. Here's my modded one. I run with upgraded flywheels, a barrel, and a 3S. Here's the holster I got from Out of Darts. I'm actually planning to run this at the next HVZ event as a sidearm. Even if you just want to plink around the house and play with your friends, I'm not about to make this a Worker Hurricane review. There's plenty out there. This is a top 10 video. It's time to get to our number 2. Get you one. And that brings us to number 2. Can't believe we're already here. Yeah, I knew this video was going to be a long one. X-Shot XL Ranger X8. This blaster was announced in the very early stages of last year as a teaser. At first it was thought to be only available in Europe, and for a while there it kind of was, but then it started having some spotty listings on Walmart. In fact, not only third-party sellers, but Walmart itself would have it from time to time, and then eventually it just disappeared. I believe I made a community post about it. I was so upset because I was kind of just holding off until it would eventually make it to the US, because every X-Shot blaster eventually does. It seemed like this one was gone forever. When this thing was first announced, I was like, man, it's basically an XL Berserker, but lengthened to a sniper rifle size. It's got a 10-shot cylinder, which to me is the perfect size because you're using a cylinder instead of a mag, so you don't have to worry about changing mags, and you have bolt action. This is a hot commodity right now in the Nerf blaster business, just like bullpups are, and you got your scope. And this is one of those cool modern style, like Halo or Mass Effect kind of scope. Well, the whole rifle is, to be honest, and that's one of the things I like best about it. Lots of mod potential. You have rails on the bottom, on the top. The scope is removable. This was the same scope that comes with the motorized Ragefire, which we also reviewed. The teal on the red. I just generally love this new 2022 red colorway that X-Shot started. Now that I finally found it, and at the price that I found it, especially after testing this blaster, let me tell you guys, there's just no other way to get into something of this kind of performance for this price. I paid $11 for this blaster. At one point, you couldn't find these anywhere online for less than 80 bucks. And I know a lot of that is also scalping because people knew that they were the only source at the time, but even Walmart at some point, sold by Walmart, was like at $38 for this blaster. I bought it at Kohl's during Black Friday for $11. It's only up to $14 now, so it's $14 to $15. Every time it goes on sale, just picture it going right back down close to 10 or 11. That is outstanding. This blaster gets 90 FPS, depending on the darts. If you get crappy darts, you're still getting about mid 80s, which is crazy for a non-pro blaster. It is accurate. The scope is actually functional. Earlier when I was testing it, I was getting bullseyes. I haven't even reviewed this blaster yet, and it sits at number 9. That's how good it is. If you don't have a Kohl's in your area, you can go to Walmart. They have this blaster pack where this blaster comes with 1 Hawkeye and 2 Micro 2.0s, 20 bucks. You can't beat that. I'd also like to mention that this blaster's immediate sibling, the Caliber, is a pretty cool blaster. That's a blaster design that has existed before in the form of the Dino Striker. Basically a straight rear pull, but this one is cool because it has a cylinder similar to this one. One thing I'd like to point out is that these are the first blasters from the Excel series to carry the new waffle dart design that started coming out first with the Skins blaster and then eventually with the Insanity blasters. Now the Excel blasters share the same dart. So you have that waffle technology dart, an amazing blaster, lots of fun, lots of power, lots of accuracy, between $11 and $14. This blaster, there was just no way it was not gonna be number 9, guys. X-Shot Excel Ranger X8, please stay in America for good. Get you one. Now it's time for honorable mentions. I kind of exaggerated a little bit at the beginning. I said there was gonna be around 5 or 6. That's kind of pushing it. In reality, there's like 3. And the reason these blasters landed in this spot is because I wanna keep these top 10 videos genuine. I want them to be all about the value and accessibility. I want them to be about deals. You can run to your local store where these blasters are sold and pick one up. The following 3 blasters I'm gonna talk about mainly are honorable mentions because they're kind of in a discontinued state. I'll explain a little bit more on that on one of these blasters. Availability in your area really depends on how much inventory these stores had to begin with and how much they have left. For example, first up is the Dart Zone Thunderbolt. This was my favorite non-pro flywheeler from 2023. 15 round capacity, beautiful translucent sapphire color on the mag to go with this lime green and gray. Just a great fusion of colors. This blaster is actually really powerful. It's actually pushing the threshold of the blasters for this video, and it's not even a pro blaster. It shoots about 110 FPS. Now granted, that is with the Energizer Lithiums or Power Owls. Under regular AA's, you're still hitting about 100. They're optimizing the crap out of the powertrains on these blasters. Dart Zone is really pushing their engineering to great new heights every time they pump out a blaster. I really can't wait to get to the top 10 pro blasters next week. Hint, hint, Dart Zone has a very nice presence on that list. Needless to say though, you already knew that. The Thunderbolt is just everything you would want out of a Spectrum successor. Now, the reason I think it's not really discontinued is because what I think Dart Zone is doing with this is the same thing they've been doing with a lot of their blasters. They've been revamping a lot of their covert ops blasters into the new Nitro Shot series, which is not just a new dart technology, it's a new coat of paint, a new style, a new colorway on all the blasters. The green is a little bit darker, closer to a darker lime, and then this mag would be like a translucent indigo, which is kind of like almost my favorite color. That would equally be an incredible way to do the Thunderbolt. Dart Zone, if you actually took these off the shelves because you're coming out with a Nitro Shot Thunderbolt, oh my cheese and rice, I will be right there, first customer in line. This blaster really left such a good impression. If you check your local Targets and you get lucky enough that they're still there being cleared out, these are like $15. You get them with the chili darts. If you watch my dart review, they were pretty much the second in best only to the Nitro Shot, which is pretty much the optimal evolution of the full-length dart as you can have it right now in modern day, thanks to Dart Zone. First honorable mention is our Thunderbolt, guys. Second honorable mention falls into the same category. It's a blaster that went on clearance, and it's another X-Shot blaster. X-Shot is really crushing the standard non-pro blaster lists this year. The reason this one fell into honorable mentions is because it was originally a late 2022 model. Dr. Flux has a good review on it if you want to know all the tech specs about it, but it's the latest iteration of their Mega Drum barrel. They've had a couple of them. They've had the Turbo Fire, they've had the Turbo Advance, different names, of course, Adventure Force and the X-Shot main brand crossover, a bunch of other ones that don't come to mind, even a red one just like this one. But the Fortress, in my opinion, was the best one. It had the vertical pump grip, interchangeable drum with a optimized mechanism for that, double stack capacity. The inner drum does shoot a little harder, so if you're playing a game that requires a little bit harder hitting, you could just fill your inner drum only, and the same goes for the opposite. You would swap to the outer rim of the drum if you want to shoot a little softer. But the blaster actually shoots pretty accurate for a drum shooter. It's very high capacity, very fun to use at HVZ events. The whole family would have a blast with these, and if you could find them at your local Target, if they have any left, they'll be around $10 to $15, guys. Originally a $35 blaster. Get you some. Our last honorable mentions blaster is gonna be the Darttech Hex. Honestly, I don't know what happened to Darttech as a company. They're one of the first few companies that reached out to us for a blaster sample review, and we're very grateful for that. They were great to work with at the beginning. We did the Neo Blast. It's one of our earlier videos at the beginning of the channel in late 2022. But I know that a lot of other Nerf creators share the sentiment with me that the company was loved. Their products were loved. One of the things that was awesome about this company company was that they launched the products right away with an amazing colorway. This turquoise with the white, the light gray, the orange, it just fit together so well visibly. And the blasters were just really good. Like this blaster, you could tell it's very solid. There's no creaking. Their ergonomics are pretty awesome despite being a little sci-fi wonky. And the graphics are just big and bold. It's just a great blaster. Now this one is awesome because it has that style that you've come to love. Speaking of Excel, just like our beloved Reflex 6, this is their latest iteration, the 2022. Loose barrel up front with no front hinge. This one has a pullback prime. The hex is pretty cool because besides it being so compact, it's actually a slide prime. Fits my hands perfect. It has those grooves that I mentioned on one of the Siren videos where it's thin here and then it progressively gets thicker in the back, which is good for a larger variety of hand sizes. Sadly, this blaster is also slowly dying out, just like seemingly the company is. If you guys have heard of Dart Tech, I know they're big in Australia because they're based out of there. So if any of my Land Down Under friends have some more insider information about Dart Tech, are they just resorting to keeping their product in the mainland country? And are they stopping worldwide distribution, or what's the deal? Let a brother know. If you get lucky enough to find these at your local Walmart, they're $7.97. They always were that price, and it was always an incredible price for what you get. This blaster shoots in the 80s. It's super fun to wield. You can carry it as a sidearm or just to mess around. Little pro tip, if you go to walmart.com and it says not available in stock online, click the local pickup tool and then change the zip code to as many zip codes as are around your general area. Maybe you'll get a Walmart that pops up with one in stock. That's what happened to me. I had a Walmart that was about 40 minutes away. Turns out I had to go to that town anyway. So I did a round trip, ran an errand, and I grabbed it. Dart Tech Hex, great little pump action revolver Springer blaster. The time has come. So far, we only have one blaster that was actually made in 2024, or two actually on this list. We had the Nerf N-Series Sprinter and we had the X-Shot RangerX 8. The number one blaster is also a 2024 blaster. Earlier this summer, I made a short about this blaster. It had been advertised in late spring and we actually never really saw it. They actually started trickling into Walmart and popping up here and there. And I had the crazy luck at that same Walmart that I went to pick up the Hex at to find the number one blaster on our list today. It is none other than the X-Shot Insanity Clip-Fed Mania. Now, I don't know if X-Shot did the whole calling it a clip thing to troll their fans. I'm down with it no matter what, because this thing is awesome. Right now, it's been out for too little of a time to be on sale, but the initial price is $25. And it's insane because X-Shot's marketing with this Insanity line is just a lot of onboard storage. But in this case, since it's a flywheeler, they actually give you mags, not just a whole bunch of silly contraptions that hold darts. In fact, they only give you one of those, and it's the box that sits on top. You get 3 of these big 15-round mags, and these are pro mags, mind you. They're the same mags that come with the X-Shot Long Shot. It's cool how Zuru was smart and they kept the same mag ecosystem to cross over even into their Insanity line. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually come out with an Excel flywheeler for it to also use these mags. They're awesome. They have this beautiful tangerine translucent color and they hold 15 rounds. Props to them for staying on par with Dart Zone in that case. We know our Thunderbolt carries 15 rounds. Awesome. This blaster shoots in the 90s. It has 6 AA batteries. When I popped in the Power Owls and the Energizers, I was really getting close to 100. Depending on your darts, it probably hits that. I was using strictly the X-Shot darts for that test. But guys, this is another blaster I haven't even reviewed yet. My December in general is looking crazy as far as videos. I'm probably not going to get to this review early in the year, but with my enthusiasm, you could already tell my initial testing of this blaster has left a good impression on me. The wieldability, the ergonomics, rails top and bottom. You don't have to carry all the extra load and weight. You could just carry it cleanly like a normal flywheeler, like a Strife. Mag release is awesome. $25 for what is pretty much the first ever X-Shot Strife. Full-blown buffer tube, as you can see. Just awesome. I'll obviously pump in more details when I do the review of this, but trust me when I tell you that this thing is awesome, and if you want to get a gift for your son or your daughter or your friends or for yourself, this is a great blaster and definitely deserves to be number one on this list. I hope you enjoyed this list and you got good, valuable information out of it. I will be pumping out a pro list next week, and we might do a little in-between giveaway for 10,000 subs, a little bit more on that later. Stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay blasting, foam fam.